When we first got here, my son was in grade 9. He was just moving into high school.
You know, he tells us, Mom, Dad, don't ever sell this place because I want to inherit it.
This is my husband, Jamie.
And this is my lovely wife, Cindy. We moved in the summer of 2008, about 6 years. Before we moved to Central Frontenac, we lived in Cambridge, Ontario. I work in IT security, so was really doing a lot of travel and a lot of work stuff. We found ourselves in a situation where I didn't have to go to an office. I could work from home. So what ended up happening is Cindy's family lives in Oshawa and my family lives in Ottawa. So we wanted to find a place that was kind of halfway between both, where we could get people to come and gather for family events and things like that. And as our parents are getting older, we could actually, you know, travel to both places and make it more manageable and easy. We wanted a lifestyle where we'd be on a lake. Instead of trying to maintain a cottage and a house at the same time, we said, let's put them both together. If I'm having a rough day or something like that, I can walk out of my office and onto my deck. You're listening to the birds, you got the sun shining, you're on the deck, you're looking at the lake, and then you take a couple breaths, and then you're like, okay, it's not so bad. I'm gonna go back to work now. And if I'm not at home, I'm on the road, I'm visiting customers and clients. Because we're close to Ottawa and close to Toronto, you know, if I have to go somewhere, I can use those airports. You know, there are people that commute from here to go to work in Belleville or Kingston or Napanee. We're really centrally located around a bunch of different cities. Perth, they're all about the same distance. So
it's no different than if you were living in Oshawa, commuting to Toronto and back.
No, it is
But they don't
different.
get to live on the lake.
You don't have to sit in traffic bumper to bumper for the same amount of time that you commute here. It's actually a scenic, enjoyable commute if you had to do it from here. You know, as far as the kids are concerned, there's all sorts of activities for them. There's youth group at the church, there's things at the Legion they hold, there's the rec committee stuff that goes on, and then there's, of course, you know, programs and clubs and things like that with school.
It was a very good school, very social. Not a lot of the cliques and stuff that fit in the city. A lot of one-on-one. We have 2 children, and one is 12 and the other's 19. There's a lot more freedom for the kids. You know, it's not quite as in the city where you have to hang on to your kids. They can't go more than 5 feet from you without knowing where they are. It's a little more freedom. It's like the way it used to be when you were growing up, when the kids can go out and play.
We're still the aggregation point for our family, at least, and they'll come up in the winter and, you know, I make a skating rink right out in front of our house and we go skating. We're doing maple syrup right now, so we tapped a bunch of trees. My nieces and nephews come up and we go and collect the sap and that kind of stuff.
Oh, my mother looks every time she comes up. Yeah. Oh, that one's for sale, that one's for sale.
Yeah.
So it puts her in dream mode.
In the city, there was no real sense of community. You had to really work hard to feel like you were part of a community. We lived in like suburbia kind of type place. You know, people would commute to Toronto and back, and by the time they got home, they just didn't want to even talk to their neighbors. Gosh, within, you know, moving in here within a week, we were being invited over to parties the neighbors were putting together to welcome us to the neighborhood. And ever since, we've just gotten involved. You know, we know everybody, we can talk to folks, everybody's friendly. We didn't move here specifically for that reason with the community. But once we moved in, we realized what a significant benefit that was.
So I do a lot of baking from home, and which is kind of goes with the volunteering for bake sales and pie auctions and things like that.
There is something, you know, that's a lot of fun that I do here in the winter too. I make a path with my ATV and plow a path up and down the lake. So you can skate for close to 3 kilometers up and down the lakes. And you know, all our neighbors really love that. They get out on the lake. We actually see some of our neighbors more often in the winter because they go for daily walks. Because it's closer for them to walk than
it is to come around by the roads.
Yeah, if people put in decent places, we've got the opportunity to actually meet some new folks that are going to move in. You know, maybe they'll have kids and our daughter will make new friends, we'll make new friends. I think in summation, you know, it's a really good place to raise kids. It's affordable. And it's a lifestyle change from the city.